Hello, Goldma viewers. We're coming to you from a different location today. We're out at the mine. We're pretty excited about that. Other than this heat, it's incredibly hot. But yeah, we just wanted to introduce you to one of our team members who, if you do pay attention to our website, you will have seen his face. Everyone meet Albert.
How are you doing? My name is Albie, or Albert for long if you want. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah,
Or I can carry on?
you can carry on, or just tell us a little bit about yourself and
All right.
what you do here. What's your role?
Well, I'm 26 years old. I've been working on mines now since I was 17. I've had a lot of experience. At the moment at Goldchip, I am the cyanide plant manager, or for everybody else, which is gold leaching tanks. I've been doing that now for just over 3.5 years. So yeah, I've had a lot of experience. My first experience was Tix Milling Center. That is also in Goldma. That's out in the Mayflower area.
What is this?
Okay, so these are, we call them stagnant cyanide tanks. It's a leaching process of gold out of soil. It comes from soil. So cyanide is dissolving.
So how has your past experience shaped exactly what you're doing right now? I mean, you seem so incredibly knowledgeable about your field, and it's always great to ask you questions because you know a lot.
When they're black to grey color, it means there's still gold inside. When they're clean, then the gold's finished. So now we'll drain a tank and then reload fresh sand, pump on the solution again inside.
But how I'm not getting how you harness the gold.
Okay. So what happens, cyanide dissolves gold to a point where
It's within cyanide
it's liquid
itself.
now. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And that goes into carbon. Carbon is made from coconut shells. It's essentially charcoal.
Yeah.
You do get bigger pieces. This is a 12 by 16.
Yeah.
You can get 12 by 8, 18 by 12.
So the gold is in there.
The gold's in there. What this is now, what I'm holding there now, by all rights should have 5 to 10 grams of gold in it.
Oh wow.
I've just learned by watching people.
Okay.
You know, when I started working at Tix, I started on the tanks as well. They had very small tanks at the time, and I started watching a guy there who had been doing it for about 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and that is you have to learn by watching people. You know, you can ask questions and that, but it's always good to learn just by watching them.
Yeah.
And yeah, they actually just said to me, "Do you want to work here?" And I said yes. So I started learning, and that's where I learned. Within the first 2 or 3 months, I had started doing tanks myself.
That's incredible. I guess we're lucky to have you. So tell me something. A lot of people don't feel like we actually are mining gold. So if someone was to come at you with a question like that, what would you say?
I would tell them they're wrong. We are mining gold. I've physically held it in my hands. I physically do cleanups. So I can guarantee we are mining gold.
What's a cleanup?
Well, a cleanup can be anything with gold. So what a cleanup would be is you're taking your concentrate after milling from your separators, and you're bringing them into the cleanup area. You're panning them and you're removing the gold that's left. A cleanup could be from an elution, where you've got your acids, your wire wool, etc. You're dissolving it, you're cleaning it out, you're smelting it, and you're physically holding the gold in your hands.
What's that feeling? Esther J, I know you've held quite a bit of gold in your hands too.
Yes, definitely. I would say the same thing to someone, is that they're absolutely wrong. And they would be missing out. I think this is a once in a lifetime type of unique opportunity because there's not a lot of gold mines around us. It's not like we're driving into here and there's a gold mine there, there's a mine here. There's gold there, but there isn't an operational mine that has management, that has staff, that has structure, that is actually registered with Fidelity printers, which is the Zimbabwean Reserve Bank, that has all of the registration requirements with respect to the state. You don't see a lot of that here. There's a few that's registered, that has all of its paperwork up to snuff, and they're not ducking and hiding, and we're not running when someone comes here. We're here legally, 100% legally. And that's a rare instance, because I've been places where we're not at this stage. I've been in Zambia, I've been in Bulawayo, I've been in a lot of different places where you're still waiting on this piece of paperwork, or you're still waiting on this piece of paperwork before you can mine. Or you're hoping that you can have a setup such as the way we have here, where you're now tweaking here and there to try to recover more gold. Or where you have gold and you just don't, you don't know exactly where it's at, but you know there's gold on the mine, but you're trying to figure. And we've had that stage here. Well, we knew there was gold here because there was Makota Kozas around, or people who were mining that were not registered miners. Right.
That's the definition.
Yeah, that's the definition. Yeah. Artisanal miners.
Thank you.
They were all around. So we knew there was gold in this area, but we didn't quite know where exactly it was. Like, we were trying this place. But now we're pretty much settled on the areas where we know there's some pretty good gold. And he's been catching a lot of it, okay? He's been responsible for catching a lot of that gold. And I think that what Ruben is doing with making a sort of a mini doc about why you want gold as part of your wealth building program, or your personal wealth building, why you want to be involved with gold. He can expound on it a bit more than me, because he's actually been entrenched in studying the history of back when gold was associated with an actual dollar bill or notes. And now that you see there's so much inflation, there's so much debt in a lot of these countries, that they're now trying to convince people that debt is money.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I think for a lot of people, they don't realize that paper bills, like currency notes, originally were just receipts to prove that you had gold in a vault somewhere.
Right.
So where we are is, I think, the root of money. Really, this is where money is gotten from, because paper devalues, paper will fall down to zero, so it'll become meaningless. But gold is unique in the respect that it holds its value over time. You and I always talk about this, that the same gold that the Lydians had or Cleopatra had, it could be around somewhere. It could be part of a billion bar in a vault somewhere. It's durable. Yeah. So we don't have that same relationship with sort of currency, just paper money, paper currency, because those things rot and they just decay and they become nothing.
Yeah.
And then too, the currency that was 20 years ago, even here, is not the same currency there is today.
No, it isn't.
What, bearer notes? I think what you used to have here, what would they call those things?
Oh, the bearer checks.
Bearer checks.
For millions and trillions and things like that.
It's gone.
It's crazy.
And how long ago was that?
What, 10 years ago?
10 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. So I wasn't here, but I'm thinking to myself, that was a currency that was used as a medium of exchange. People traded this. You gave someone those and you got some food, right?
And now it means absolutely nothing.
Now, what if I brought that same one? Could I pay you your paycheck in that, and would you be satisfied?
I would not be satisfied. I would be very dissatisfied.
I think it's sometimes when you want to make a point, it helps to go to the extremes, right? Yeah. So Zimbabwe was an extreme example in history. 2008, the Weimar Republic in Germany was an extreme example. But it's the same mechanics at play. It's just that in a lot of other countries, it doesn't look as dramatic because it's happening at a very, at a much slower pace. But the same thing is happening because new currency is created year on year. So it is taking away the value of it year on year. So, I mean, if we go to America perhaps in the 1950s, the cost of a house would be shocking to hear the price now, because maybe a house that costs $200,000-$300,000 now would have cost under 100,000, well under 100,000, maybe in the 1950s, the 1940s. So, you know, it's something that is incredible. It's just happening for a lot of people watching this. They don't realize it again because it's happening at a much slower pace. It's not as rapid as 2008 in Zimbabwe or the Weimar Republic. Yeah.
It's interesting. No, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No,
go
no,
ahead.
please go ahead.
Well, I wanted to ask, you know, Albie, if 10 years ago when you started, since till now, have you ever had the experience where you could not sell the gold because it didn't have value? Like someone says, no, I'm not taking gold because it's not of any value to me right now, versus like a bearer check.
No, not really. I've never, unless they didn't have the money to give you for the gold you had, but it's never devalued.
No.
You know, and like you were saying, you know, notes devalue. Even a coin devalues. You know, it degrades after time. It's not gold.
Yeah.
Unless you're lucky enough to have a gold coin.
Yeah.
But, you know, when it comes to things like that, you can't say 10 years ago, okay, I've left my children $100,000 in notes. It's burnt down or it's degraded, it's been eaten by moths or something's happened to it.
Yeah.
But if you said, I've left my children 100 grams of gold, it's still value today. It's still holding value.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Now, Albie, tell us about actual gold quality in terms of the gold that we're producing here at Sunrise versus any other gold you've ever come across. What's the difference, if any?
Well, for anyone who knows that's watching, elutions are not going to give you a high percentage. You're running copper through your tanks with the gold and everything like that. So your cleanups have to be extensive.
Okay.
But, you know, you're getting 80%. Okay, that's really low. Some people are getting 89, 90%. We were at that one time. But I've seen elutions now that I'm doing that's 96% in a cleanup. You know, I've seen gold in Zambia, which is 70%. And your loss by cleaning that up to get to 90% where it's, you know, sellable, it's terrible loss. You can't go to Fidelity with gold that's 70%. They would either laugh at you or give you half the price. You know, so this area I have seen some really high percentages come out, and the quality of the gold is quite good.
Now, Mr. J, did you know about that before you purchased this claim? Like, was that something that falls under your research when you're trying to figure out where to start mining?
Well, I can't say I knew specific qualities in terms of the percentage rate, but I was a student of history, and you know, there is, you know, presidents and other scholars who went to and got scholarships based on Cecil Rhodes, and no one will ever accuse him of being an idiot. And his quotes were that this is heaven. I think I found heaven on earth. And he felt as though this was the land where he thought it's the place where he wanted to build and actually set up and actually make this a colony of Britain. He thought this was the pride of Britain. And so resources came here. A lot of investment from Britain came here based on his assessment. They had a lot of faith and what he had to say. And in order to do that, just to answer your question, they had to know that this guy knows something. This guy knows something. He's done something previously to qualify in believing in what he says. So when I came here, I was studying about Cecil Rhodes. I was studying about what happened with the Portuguese here. I was studying about the Germans being involved here. And I said, wow, all these nations in this little small country. Why? And I was like, why are all these different things happening in this place? Such turmoil. The other place I thought about was Congo, because there was a lot of turmoil in Congo. War still going on. Even in the 80s, I was in high school when this place was up in arms when my man said he came here, and what did he had a concert here? 1980, right?
Bob Marley.
Come on now. Yeah. So when he had his concert here, why did he come here? Of all places, why here? It was something special here.
Right.
So I knew that powerful people came here. Even, when I think about that, it made me want to come here. I'm like, why are these powerful people not Chad, not Cameroon, not Kenya? I kept hearing about Zimbabwe. So I didn't know it was this specific area, but I came looking for a good area. And if you look at the geography of this area, it's almost like a valley, the way it's shaped. Almost like we're in between mountains, mountain ridges. And if you know about gold is a very heavy material. It's very dense, one of the densest material. So if you want to find where dense material collect, you look in valleys. That's where I would go. So I saw, or you look at river streams. You always see in the movies someone's in a river stream and they're panning. And I thought, well, where are river streams? Are river streams going over mountains? No. They're normally in valleys, right? So that's the way my mind thinks. River streams, valleys, that's the place I'm going to go and look. So that was my thinking.
Love it. Well, Albie, thanks for sitting down with us.
No problem.
I'm sure our viewers are excited to see a new face on the panel.
Before we go, I just got to ask one last question. How do you properly pronounce your surname?
For people watching, I may even pronounce it wrong because I am Afrikaans by family. My family was originally from South Africa, and they, the way I pronounce it is Potgieter. The G and the, there's a few letters in there that, Afrikaans is a very hard language. Even for me being Afrikaans, it's a difficult language to learn, but yeah, it's Potgieter.
There we go. Yeah. Always wondered.
All right.
Actually, we've all always wondered. I won't try and repeat that on camera. Everyone, thank you. So from our little piece of heaven, bye for now.